according to research, we have very many schools of thought, and some people tend to think, or researchers, they tend to think that narcissistic personality is hereditary. And this is supported by so many research that has been done. And from the research meta-analysis, it has come out that in most families where there is one individual is suffering from narcissistic personality disorder, there will always be other family members, close family members, suffering from the same, showing it's a pointer to that narcissistic personality disorder can be hereditary. Also, the research, most researchers show that identical twins tend to portray the same kind of personality. So if one has, the chances are that the other identical twin will be suffering from the same disorder. Social learning and parenting. There are some people who put forward the argument that narcissistic personality is a product of parenting. Now, in this book, I have gone ahead to give examples which we cannot cover now, and one case I've tried to show how, when you deal with some parents in a situation like the one I've mentioned here, a parent is summoned for a disciplinary case, and when the parent is told what the child did, he goes ahead and starts beating up the child. And he showed some form of violence and lack of empathy to whatever the child was going through. And the whole scenario is so disturbing, such that the other people who end up coming in, there is watchman who tries to quell the situation, the mother who tries to quell the situation, she's equally beaten up. And the people who are looking into the disciplinary issue come to realize that even if the child was portraying some kind of narcissistic tendencies, there is also a possibility he could have learned the same from the parents. Another thing that brings about narcissistic personality disorder is negative childhood experiences. So these negative childhood experiences can be trauma, physical abuse, emotional abuse, rejection, and lack of support during childhood. So some of these things, they make children not to form a good emotional base. So they are not able to empathize. Nobody empathizes with them. So they grow up knowing that the world is not a safe place to be in. So the best thing is to love themselves as a way of protecting themselves. So it's a maladaptive way of self-preservation. So in this book, I continue to talk about so many other things that contribute to this disorder, and also giving more examples that suits an African setting. I also talk of some of the tools that people use to try and determine if they would be having that tendency in their family, and put some genogram that helps the reader try to understand the dynamics of this narcissistic personality disorder, how it's passed, and how it interacts in a family situation. I've also indicated about culture and environment. Is it possible to define a culture or an environment as being narcissistic? This is a question I can only pose to the viewers. But to answer this question, I can say sometimes some cultures and some environments can be defined to be maybe having severe narcissistic tendencies or moderate. Because even that person who is narcissistic is a product of the society. So if we have many people with narcissistic personality disorder, it is a pointer too that that culture and that environment is producing these people, and most of the people there could also be having a tendency or suffering from the same.